Guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, the video editing video that I promised, well, guess what? It's actually the one that got uploaded. It was a little over 17 minutes, and we're going to edit that video right now on the base model M1 Mac Mini and see how it goes. I figured, why cut another video and just do like 20 minutes? 17 is more than fine, right? And the idea here is to see how well it's going to work, if it's going to go into virtual swap on us. I rebooted the computer, so we're at 5 gigs of RAM for the OS, which is kind of a normal thing when you freshly boot your operating system. It's completely normal. And game mode, of course, takes care of actually saving a lot of resources and stuff. Shuts down a lot of background tasks, frees up a lot of memory. So playing games is actually a lot better gameplay, but at the same time, when you quit, it shows that you're now down to running just over 3 gigabytes of RAM for the OS instead of 5. So those tasks do not get turned back on. So I thought, let's just edit the video here. So we're just going to drag in what we need, and this is how I do my video editing for the most part. Okay, I'll drag this down and I'll bring this up. And I'm pretty close to where I'm going to talk on this anyways, but let's see. Hey guys. Pretty close, so I don't need to actually clip that out. So for there, we'll just add in this piece here, and then we'll skip across. Whoops, grabbed the wrong part of the window. And we'll just skip right across to the very end of the video, to about here. Works out for us, so stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. So there's not even enough there to clip. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Now, memory used is 4.86, 4.85, 4.83 gigs, 4.7 gigs, kind of in that area ballpark is what our memory is that's in use right now. So let me just see if I can bring this window up a little higher for you so you can read a little bit better. Come on. There we go. So you can see I got 8 gigs of RAM in this, and we're doing all the editing too on the 256. I don't do videoing on external drives. That's a whole other video why I don't, and I'll explain that. But now what we got to do is we got to go and we got to export this thing. So I'm fine with how the coloration turned out on the video. Even for everything that's going on here, we got a couple of games in play that we tested. Okay, so you're going to recognize this. No big deal. And going through the footage is flawless. It's fine, okay? And if you want to, you can shrink that back down so you can see it all, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So now let's export this. And it is cut in 1080p, so we're going to leave it at 1080p. And we're going to click next, and we're going to give this thing a name. Which will be the name of the video you'll find on my channel. And what are we going to call this thing? I think perhaps game mode on Mac with Mac OS 14.1.1. Okay? And that's it. And we're going to save it to our desktop because that's where I like to put things. And that's it for the desktop. And we're going to click Save. Now, while this is exporting out, we're going to keep an eye on the memory because last time I did this was with my 1 terabyte as my external boot drive and everything drive. And I actually ended up into swap. And here, we're not going into swap. And what's our estimated time? About 12-13 minutes to export is about what it's telling us. So while that's doing that, I need a program called Handbrake. Okay, so I'm going to go into my backup file and I'm going to see if I can find Handbrake on here, and it looks like we don't have it. So I'm going to go up to the internet while we're doing that. Handbrake, download. Now that's going to use up a little extra RAM, but we're going to get it released, don't worry. And Insomniac, so we want it right from Handbrake's website directly. And we want download universal because it is not fully optimized for Apple Silicon, but it works fine on Apple Silicon either way. And you want to allow downloads? Yes, allow them. It won't take much to download this thing. And by doing this and running Safari at the same time, we're only chewing up 5.2 gigs of RAM. We're not into swap. I am very impressed here. macOS Sonoma is, for the 14.1.1 version, is doing exceedingly better than I even thought it would, especially for being back on the internal drive. I'm like, wow, this is like definitely a big change, right? From running external. So anyway, so we can have quick Safari. We've got our program down. So we're going to open that up there. And we're going to shove that over to the desktop. And of course it's a DMG, so we can just double click that. And then we're going to take this and we're going to do a copy. And up here to applications. And we're going to paste it. And it's copied across, so now we hit H. And we're going to drag that down here. And that's our little shortcut. And then we just have to find our opened up little DMG file here someplace, wherever it went, down in here, and we can just shut that down. And you can see it's saving the file and everything. It's all doing good. And we'll just bring this right back down into here. And so if you're doing basic video editing here, you can definitely, and no problem, you're going to be able to edit doing basic video editing, okay? 1080p, 720p will not be an issue. I highly doubt there will be any problems with 4K if you're doing basic stuff like this. If you start getting more complex into your editing, the program is going to require more RAM, okay, to do stuff. So you'll inch closer and closer to the 8 gigs RAM in your computer, and will eventually swap will turn on. It's going to happen. But right now it's not. Even our temperature, our performance core temperature is at 36 Celsius. Our fans are just on idle. If we look at our efficiency cores, they're only running at about 34.4. This thing is not even breaking a sweat. I mean, the MacBook Air actually, for the M1, being an 8-core by 7-core, that thing heated up a lot more for video editing, let alone a lot of other things. Even GarageBand, it was running a lot hotter. Where desktops, of course, they rule, man. They run nice and cold. We got big fans in there, more cooling room, more airspace. So they're going to definitely perform a lot better, period. So, but this is the base model M1 Mac Mini, man. This is 8x256, and it's like, this is like incredibly cool. Anyways, this thing's got a little bit of a ways to go. So I'm going to end the video here as far as that goes. There's no sense in continuing this because we are not going to be using up any more RAM than what we are now. So it's like, yeah, this works. So I'm going to let this finish. It'll get uploaded as well. You'll see this video. Also stay tuned for more videos. We're going to put some other things to the test, like see how GarageBand is going to operate. That sort of thing. Maybe try a few other programs. I do have to watch it though. I am very close to getting max for my space. I've only got 63 gigs available on my internal drive. And the only thing I have in the drive itself, in the 256, is the OS and everything that would come factory installed. Which would be like GarageBand, iMovie, Pages, Keynotes, Numbers, all the usual apps that you always get with a brand new computer. That is all installed, and GarageBand is fully updated with all of its sounds. And we don't get near as many sounds available to us. It's only about 20 gigs worth, where Logic is something like 80 gigs worth of files. So yeah, we would be down to almost no drive space left. Or wait a minute, we wouldn't even have enough, come to think of it. So yeah, it'd be a little bit too tight, which is where you might want to consider if you do buy a Mac Mini that's an 8x256 or an iMac 256, anything 8x256, you're going to want to run your external drive probably as a boot drive. because it's going to work better because you can build your own Thunderbolt drive for around $230 Canadian and have a terabyte. And if you actually aren't worried about getting right on those 3,000 megabytes per second, you could still do it for the same price pretty much with a 2 terabyte drive that's a little slower than what I put into these cases, still being able to achieve easy 2,000 megabits per second. I'm getting 2757 constant read writes on my Thunderbolts on my 16 by 512 Mac Mini. This is not a Thunderbolt drive. This is just a Type C 3.2 Gen 2x2. It's running 1,000 read write without any issues. But it is not an OS drive anymore. So it's kind of like, we're getting tight on the internal. I may have to switch back again after I finish all my guinea pig testing on this machine. So we have more for you, so stay tuned, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll be sure to catch you guys on the next one, okay? See you later.